Right.
Nice and easy. All right, we are live. How's it going, everybody? Right now, I have our guest, Nicholas Glenn, and Flipped Out, and might have other people join us too, but who knows? It's after Thanksgiving holiday, so everybody's probably hungover or just chilling, relaxed, lazy, or shopping. So right now, Flip's shopping as well, and so we're just chilling, having a regular chill conversation. So how's it going, Nick?
It's going good. Had Thanksgiving yesterday. My dad, actually, my sister, both my sisters and their kids were going to come out. So I got a turkey, all the sides, all that sort of stuff. And all of them ended up canceling and not coming. So I had all this food. And so my dad drove over from Atlanta yesterday and he helped me eat. So I started cooking about 8 yesterday morning and by myself and got it all ready and done by 2:30. But I got to hang out with him for the day and last night watch some football and play some guitar and hang out. So it was a good time.
Oh, nice. Sounds fun, dude. Yeah, ours was very lazy. I had leftover pizza from the day before. That's my Thanksgiving feast. Not much of a cook, so yeah, that's do it the easy way.
Yeah, I'm a huge Gordon Ramsay nut. And since I'm single and live at home, by myself, I like nice restaurants and stuff, but I don't like paying the prices. So I just learned how to do it all myself.
Oh,
Oh
nice.
yeah, like making that cheese dip that they make at the restaurants, the Mexican
Oh
cheese
yeah,
dip.
oh
I
yeah, I
learned how to
do
do
that.
that. So, whew,
Yeah,
save fun.
I actually do a loaded nachos with everything fresh. I always use nothing but fresh ingredients and stuff. But a couple girls that I've dated in the past that I fixed for them, they're like, "Oh my God, these are the best nachos I've ever had."
I had nachos for breakfast this morning.
I love nachos.
Hell yeah,
Jeez,
dude.
I'm jealous.
Yep. I was gonna ask Nick. So you don't have content on your channel, do you?
Not a whole lot right now. Me and a buddy of mine who I've known since middle school. He's got his own YouTube channel called Coach Groves. He does a lot of Star Wars collecting and frisbee golf stuff. But me and him are actually in the middle of trying to build a studio space and actually start our own channel and basically do pop culture news, all that sort of kind of thing. So more than likely we're in the works of putting that together, but we live like 2 hours away. So it's hard for us to get up and put a lot of time into it. So we're slowly building up ideas and looking at a space kind of in between us to where we can maybe meet and do like maybe 4 or 5 videos for the week and then release them over the week. So we only have to actually meet up, once a week. So
Okay, that sounds pretty good.
yeah, that's kind of in the making.
Okay, that's good. And would you just be covering the type of pop culture stuff similar to like in our community with world class bullshitters, or would you try to dip out into a different area also, like any other topics that don't get covered too often that you want to cover?
It'd probably mainly be movies, video games, and probably a lot of toy collecting stuff. Um, I Eddie himself, my buddy, he has large collections of vintage Star Wars stuff. I had a crap ton of it, ended up selling it all. But I've come across collections, and we do a lot of buying and selling. Go to there's a Facebook group called the ICCC, and they are like a Star Wars fan community for toy collecting for vintage Star Wars. And they actually had a convention up in South Tennessee, just south of Nashville, just a couple months ago that we went to, and they had William Shatner was there, a lot of people from Deanna Troy from The Next Generation, Odo from Deep Space Nine, Lando. Uh, I'm drawing a blank. What Lando's name in real life?
Hey Nicholas, what do you think about Toys R Us coming back as Jeffrey's Toy Box?
I'm game as long as they're not putting out crap. I mean, right now the market for uh, Star Wars merchandise in the toy world is not good.
Yeah.
People aren't buying any of this new stuff.
No,
Um, like I remember, so back in when did they release the new line of Star Wars toys? What was it, 95, 96?
Yep.
Frame?
95. Yep.
And
Late 95.
but I remember when that stuff came out, they didn't mass produce it in the beginning, and so a lot of the figures were hard to find. And I remember me and my buddy Eddie that I've been talking about would actually go to Walmart like late at night and wait for the shipments and then get the boxes as they were coming out. Because we're like, they're coming out with Star Wars merchandise again. So we
I
were
remember
all
back
we
then
were
it
all
was
in.
hard to find the Princess Leia. You remember that
Yeah,
back then?
I actually ordered. Let's see, we ordered 20 of them off of Lucasfilm's website, LucasArts, I believe is what it was, and they were running out of stock of those, and we hung on to all those because we're like, man, these are gonna be worth some money one day. Well, our early mid 2000s, all that stuff wasn't worth jack. I
Yep.
I had all of that stuff, vehicles, figures, all the different, a ton of the variations, and I ended up giving all that stuff away to my nephews for Christmas one year. I couldn't sell it. I posted it on eBay. I talked to tons of different shops and stuff around town. Nobody would take it. I couldn't
This was
sell
in
it.
the Phantom Menace was coming out that time period.
Yeah, yep. And right before, because they started the original trilogy line before the Phantom Menace came out, and then the Phantom Menace came out, and all the new Phantom Menace figures came out, and it was shortly after that was when I stopped buying all the new stuff. Because when the Phantom Menace came out, they flooded the market with that stuff. I mean, it was everywhere, and just like the original trilogy stuff that they re-released it eventually. I mean, there was so much of it out there. Mainly collectors were buying it, leaving it in the package, so it was easy to find that stuff. It wasn't like the vintage stuff from the '80s, that was hard to find.
Yeah, I got the Mace Windu special figure. It was the one you had to mail off for. I got a couple of those. That was fun.
Yep, I remember that. I got the some of the mailaways that I got before Episode 1 came out was the Kellogg's Han Solo Stormtrooper gear.
So yes, I had that and the Luke also.
Yep. So I got that. The Force Ghost Obi-Wan that was see through, and then the
Head of Force Ghost Obi-Wan.
Yep, and then it was the other one was the spider that came walking out of Jabba's palace when 3PO and R2 walked in there.
With the Borman monk.
Yeah. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, that thing I had it, got it in the mail away as well.
Oh dang!
Yeah, it was called Monk or something.
Yeah, something like that.
It's the Borman monk.
Yeah.
Would you say the quality is completely different now compared to then?
Oh God, the quality now is, I think, definitely better than. Are you talking about back in the vintage days or back in the early re-release stuff?
I guess I mean like early 2000s area.
Comparing
the current ones to then.
Yeah, the current ones to them, I definitely think the quality is better. Like, I actually have a couple of the stormtroopers from Rogue One that I bought loose just because they looked awesome. I mean, it's probably the best stormtrooper figure, action figure that I've seen to date. Minus any of the slideshow Hot Toy stuff. I mean, nothing's gonna beat that. But
that's surprising.
Yeah, but the Rogue One Stormtrooper is phenomenal. I mean, I thought they made it very well. So yeah, I actually have a couple of those along with some Imperial Guards, and a couple other ones. But yeah, I think the quality is good. But all the Force Awakens, Last Jedi stuff, I mean, the quality on that stuff's fine. It's just no
one cares about the actual characters or nothing.
Yeah, nobody cares about those characters at all, which is the problem.
Well, what's funny about that, seriously, I always use this as an example. Like, I didn't really know anything about Kit Fisto or Plo Koon or those extra Jedi from the originals. Because I was born in '94, so I was pretty young when all that stuff came out, and I didn't know them very well, but they looked cool, so I wanted them, and I learned their name, and could point out where they were. They have no lines in the films, I don't think. Maybe one line, I don't know. And I would rather have them any day over like a Holdo or a Jin or a Ursa or any of these Saw Gerrera. Like, none of these characters look like I want to play with them. It's like, okay, I'd just be holding a dude. Okay. Yeah. Like, no. And at least with like Han Solo and Luke and all them, they are defined enough in their characters that it's like, okay, you can see all these different versions of them and have them on different spots from the films. And then with these new ones, who is going to play with Holdo and what would be the point? And who would, a boy or a girl, either of them. A girl would be like, she's too ugly to dress up. And the guy would be like, why would I play with this purple haired chick? Unless she's going to be the one that gets tied up or killed in their little imagination. But
if I had a little girl that played with toys, I would forbid her to play with those toys. I would be like, those toys are not coming in this house. You're not playing with those toys. Here's a Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, well, and it's funny because like I never collected the toys, but I would play with them when I was younger. I mean, they were very well used. They were used all the time. And
it was the same for me.
So like when I say quality, I mean, I guess that's what I mean, like the articulation quality and the, ability for them to not fall apart after playing with them for a little bit. Because when I was a kid, there was some that would sometimes fall apart, but for the most part, I mean, they were fine. But then there's some toys that you can barely move the arms and the hands or something. I'm like, what the hell is this? And I don't know anything about the modern ones now.
So you're basically talking about survivability of the figures
a little bit
after constant playing, from
I guess I mean the act of them being fun to play with. As a kid, you could put this in their hand, you can do this with them, you could stand them up, you can move and kick their leg, you can punch their arm.
As far as that goes, the modern stuff definitely is better than the vintage stuff. I mean, the vintage stuff is, there's not a whole lot. I mean, it definitely takes more imagination, I would say, to play with the vintage toys than it does more of this modern stuff. Because you can't, the accessories and stuff, it's not as much stuff comes with them. They don't move in multiple different directions. It's basically, the leg moves, the arms move, and that's pretty much it.
Hey, Nicholas, you should probably get in touch with a guy named Sixth Scale Combat. He's a toy collector as well.
Sixth Scale Combat?
Yeah, SIXTH. Next word scale, last word combat.
I'll write that down.
Yeah, he does lots of toy stuff.
Yeah. Also, you're going to kill me. My vintage Star Wars stuff, when I was 10 years old, we shot it all up with BB guns.
Oh, I did the same stuff with a lot of mine. One of the regrets I have is probably about 3 years ago, I still had a bunch of my vintage figures from when I was a kid that were still in pretty good condition, and I actually ended up selling them all. I had a complete run of vintage figures, every single one, Yak Face. Wow. EV9, last 17, all of them, every single one. I had a complete run, and I sold it all for $4,000. It was all complete, but I needed the money. And a lot of those figures were figures that I had as a kid, that I got at birthdays, Christmas, and so if I could go back, I would have tried to find another way of going about things than to sell off that collection. But I got a couple more. I'm slowly building it back up, and I got one carded at-stat driver, Return the Jedi package. But that's about it. My collection's pretty minimal at this point in time.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean about the old vintage ones. The only two that I have from that time are Chewie and R2. Like this was from '78, I think, when my mom worked at one of the movie theaters when they were playing in theaters, and has one of these. And yeah, they don't really seem like you could do much with them, but they're good for show. They're good for show, I suppose. For
yeah.
for
You couldn't really do a whole lot with and Chewbacca's gun. Kind of went through his arm. His arm would go through it, and then it would just kind of rest on his arm. Is that the original R2 or sensor scope or?
I have no idea what type of model it was. It's just an R2.
Yeah, if it doesn't have anything that pops up out of its head, then it's just
no. It's just completely just by itself. Its arms kind of move. Its legs can move a little, but that's about it. It looks like it has a hole on its bottom to put on stuff, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. Yeah. So, so yeah, I know, Angus, you have some of your own stuff as well, right? You have your own little collection.
Oh, it's not little. I got pretty much my whole bedroom wall in my wife's bedroom. We each have like a side, and my whole side is like strategically tacked on the wall. I have like no space to put new shit on. And one section is just the 3¾ inch, and I have them organized by when they come into the show, or like the canon of the movies and shows. Because I got a few Clone Wars characters. Almost all my stuff is prequel era, besides like a couple Vaders and Boba Fett and like a few Rogue One and stuff. But like, I always get a kick out of hearing Jeff Hicks talk about how the movies retroactively hurt original trilogy and make you not want to look at the shit. And it's like, oh, I haven't. That's one good thing about not, making prequel connections in the new Star Wars is they haven't really tainted, even with like Darth Maul and Solo, they haven't tainted the legacy of the prequels, which is how I got into Star Wars. So it's kind of nice. It's still like, I see the name Star Wars on my stuff, and I'm kind of like, it's lost its.
Yeah, I feel the same way, and other friends of mine kind of also feel the same way. I mean, even the episode 9 that's coming out, I mean, the excitement's just not there for me, or a lot of other people that I know personally. We kind of all have the same viewpoint. My buddy Eddie that I went and saw The Last Jedi with, I mean, we were pumped about that movie. I mean, we could not wait. And we left that theater silence. We looked at each other when the credits rolled and didn't say a word. We walked out of the theater, didn't say a word, and we ended up going to Waffle House afterwards. He was like, "Don't say anything, just wait till we get to Waffle House." And I was like, "All right." And we got report. Yeah, we got to Waffle House and started just discussing it, and I was like, I mean, I was in shock and denial. I wanted to like the movie, and I actually did a reaction of on my drive home after we left Waffle House on my channel, doing my my first reaction to the movie, and I was trying not to hate it at the time, but there was things of it that I completely disagreed with, and I thought were terrible ideas. And then other people I knew were just like, "Oh my God, that movie was awesome," and I'm like, "What?" A lot of people, I think, just you can slap the Star Wars name on a turd and hand it to them, and they fall in love with it.
Yeah,
exactly. That's
and
the problem.
and I'm a hardcore. I would consider myself a hardcore Star Wars fan, but the thing is, if you give me crap, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, this is crap." and even that episode 1 when it came out, I left there and I was like, "Wow, that was awesome." But when it came out on VHS and I bought it, it's funny, VHS. But when it came out on VHS, I bought it, I watched it, and I was just like, God, this really isn't very good. There's parts of all the movies that I love. There's parts of The Last Jedi that I liked. But and same with the Phantom Menace. There's parts of it that I liked, but all in all, for the movie as a whole, I just was not a fan.
The way I described The Last Jedi is kind of like how Mahler did at some point. He said it's like death by 1,000 cuts. It's like, just nothing overall was so bad, but just every little nudge of something. Just okay, that's kind of no, that's kind of cringe. No, that's not very good. Okay, but this is gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. Okay, I'm starting to lose some blood.
What? With Rey and Kylo, and at the throw room, it was almost good. But then if you go watch it back, it like their lightsabers are like vibrating because they're big plastic swords and they're vibrating like they just got hit. And then of course that one red throne room guard loses the knife. It just disappears.
Yeah,
things like that.
Yeah, and the thing is, I didn't catch any of that stuff when I first saw it. When I saw it in the theaters, it wasn't until I got a 4K copy of it. So I got a 4K media player for my 4K TV, and that movie was there. And the visual effects for it I think are done really well. So I got it because I just wanted to see the quality, playing it on a 4K TV, and it looked good. But that's when I noticed a lot of those things, and I was like, God, that's just lazy right there,
Yeah, big time. Hey, Princess.
Hey.
All right.
Thought I could just sneak in.
Yeah.
And be like, let's see how long they'll notice me.
You didn't pull Cecil. You're fine. So I was going to ask Nicholas. So how long have you been, I guess, part of the community? I suppose, following World Class and everything, Phantom Menace. I suppose.
So, like, a lot of the YouTube stuff that I watched before The Last Jedi was I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Game Chasers on YouTube. It's sort of like American Pickers, but for vintage video games.
Oh, okay.
The production quality on their episodes it's like a TV show. It's not. I mean, their production is very high quality, and they actually have several seasons of the show, but it's a YouTube series. But I watched a lot of stuff on video games. I was big into Destiny 2 and that sort of stuff, and a couple other channels. But I didn't really do a whole lot with YouTube, other than just watch a couple things on some games. And I watched Collider and stuff like that. But after The Last Jedi came out, the mixed reactions and stuff, and I was a huge John Campea fan, so I was watching him, and I actually sent him, like, when he did his review on The Last Jedi, I asked him one question on a super chat and was like, did they get Luke right? And he was like, they got Luke right, which made me even more excited for The Last Jedi and even more disappointed when I saw what they did. After that, I started going out there and just watching videos on people that also felt the same way I did. And that's when I came across Geeks and Gamers. And then that's when I came across EBS. And that's when I came across World Class Bullshitters. And then, of course, just watching those channels, I heard them mentioning Doomcock. And I was like, who's this Doomcock guy? So I checked him out. And that's kind of how I came about coming across all those guys, just basically going out there and seeing what other people were saying that kind of felt the same way as I did.
Well, that's good, man. You found the right community.
Yeah, definitely.
That's good. Do you guys have any questions for him? Or any topics you guys want to bring up?
No, not really.
That's good. I actually wanted to bring one up real quick. So has anybody here actually, like, I know that the news for a while was a lot of stuff about the She-Ra thing for a while. At least the channels that we follow would cover it and whatnot. I'm pretty sure none of us really watched it. Did any of us watch it?
I watched episode 1 yesterday. It's kind of cringy. I expect it to get worse the farther I get into the show. But I don't know She-Ra. The whole news is what sparked me even interest in it, but I think the whole like body image crap is a real problem.
Pretty much Wonder Woman for the 80s kids. She was Wonder Woman.
I mean, I suppose. I mean, I was looking at it only as like if I were to be babysitting somebody and we're gonna put a show on, like what would we put on that I won't want to stab my eyes out, and then that's how I would judge it basically.
However, I will say one thing about the new She-Ra.
Yeah.
The Horde is a better story than the actual good guys.
Hey, I've got my 13-year-old daughter here who's watched every episode. You want to hear what she thinks about it?
Wow, she can join my sister with it.
Here you go. This is Crunchy.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Crunchy. I'm 13, and I watched the whole entire She-Ra in 2 days.
Oh wow, nice.
I love the whole entire thing, and I'm a teenager. I don't think it's just for kids. Like there's a dark side to it with the Horde.
Yeah.
And like Adora and Catra were best friends, and they worked for the Horde. But then Adora like went off to be She-Ra. But then Catra, she turned bad. Like at first she was protecting Adora and lying to the Horde. But then when she what's the word? Okay, so they went into the pyramid where She-Ra was first founded. And
founded, you mean found, right?
Yeah, when they found her, yeah.
But they saw memories of themselves as best friends before in the Horde, and that changed Catra. But like it's super, it turns kind of dark, and it's for adults and teenagers too. It's really, really cool.
So was the original She-Ra.
What?
So was the original. Kids and adults.
Well, so there's more. It's not just like a kiddie show, basically, like how some people would.
No, He-Man was for adults as well. Or
for adults too.
Else you wouldn't have seen the "Hey yeah yeah yeah" song, whatever.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Thanks for giving your take on that. That was very insightful. Thank you.
And in my opinion, the only character I care about in the new She-Ra is actually Catra.
Yeah,
it actually has a story, a hero's journey story.
Hey, Princess is
handed to her because she's the good guy.
Hey, Princess, is Bo? Is he part of the original show? Or is this like a new?
Yes,
okay.
Bo is the original part of the show, and he was a redhead. He had a terrific mustache that Tom Selleck would be glad to have.
Wait. So did they blackwash?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I hate that shit. I'm a black guy, by the way. Anyone new in here? I don't like fucking color swapping to get brownie points for SJWs or anything.
If Flip's daughter's still on, you can put it back to him. Thank you. Flip, are you back?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Angus was just cursing for a sec. So I was seeing if your daughter was still on or not. So, okay.
No, my bad. Now you guys can be adulterous.
Okay, you're good. All right, go ahead, Angus. Continue.
Oh, that's really all I had. I didn't realize I was cursing.
Yeah, if you look at a picture of 80s Bo, he's a redhead, he's muscular, he has that mustache.
Well, that just makes me like it less now. Like I do see the angle with Catra. It's already an interesting plot line, but I see it like I was just watching this thing on Wisecrack about the villains of today, and kind of looking through history at like the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. They didn't really touch on the 90s, but they did some, and then they get to like Thanos and Killmonger and stuff, and showing like this kind of moral gray line we're starting to do with superheroes a lot, or with villains. And so I see that as like be problematic almost, where it's like we keep making villains that we relate to maybe too much. That I don't know. It's just it's troubling, I guess. There is always like that gray line, especially like Batman or something. I don't know. It's kind of like an existential problem, I think, for our current society, that we're making villains consistently like this.
We're supposed to hate them. Hate them. There's a reason why I don't like. Pretty much in certain animes, there's like a villain that rapes the main character. Oh my god! I was like, I hate you so much more now. Can I kill? And then toward the end of the anime, when he gets his due, I'm like, yes.
Okay, I love your energy, Princess. You've really perked up a lot since your first stream.
Yeah, I'm used to you guys now. So anyone who knows me can tell you that when I get to know you, I'm a little silent, but when I get to know you more, the energy comes out.
That's good. Well, so I was going to say, too, according to the show, I mean, I just literally this morning, I was eating some food, and I was like, okay, I mean, I guess I'll check the show out just to see what all the hubbub's about, because everybody was saying how SJW it is and how horrible it is. But, I mean, I guess the people that were praising it were more pushing it rather than the actual content of the show. I mean, if they did blackwash a character, like, change someone who was originally a different character and make them different, that is a SJW quality. But, I mean, as for the show itself, it seems like the animation's okay. The stuff seems okay. The story seems all right. I mean, I could see young boys or girls liking it. I mean, again, I don't know anything about He-Man or any of that stuff. So if they're changing established stuff a whole bunch, then that's not good, I would say. But
yeah,
just looking at it as someone who doesn't know anything about it, it doesn't seem to be harmful. Like, it doesn't seem like they're pushing
mediocre.
They're what?
It's more or less mediocre. We have come to accept mediocrity as our new prime.
That would make sense, because everything I've noticed, it seemed like something I've seen before, like Chosen One, and you're the best at this, and then your world changes, and all. Like, I've seen this storyline happen all the time, but it's not harmful. It just seems like, okay, it's just a little show, but I mean,
it doesn't bring anything new to the table.
Right, but I mean, I could still see a kid being entertained, I suppose, by it. But you're right. I do think they need more substance with things, but it's not as horrible as everyone seems to make it.
It's not horrible. It's mediocre. And to be honest, if the entire show was on Catra and her journey, I would totally be down to watch it, because Catra is relatable, more relatable than the good character you're supposed to be relatable to.
Yeah, she's a cat, right? The Catra.
Yeah. And she's also the villain, but she kind of has like this hero's journey of her own, but with more substance.
Yeah, watching it, it reminds me a lot of. I don't really see Wonder Woman's. I mean, I guess I can kind of see Wonder Woman and She-Ra from just watching this one episode, but I definitely see like Cheetah from Wonder Woman kind of parallel. That, because Cheetah, some of the comics I've read with her, she's kind of a sympathetic villain. So, it's interesting. It's like continuously, and now it's coming into like kid shows. Like, I think kid shows should be a little bit more defined with like, these are the good guys, these are the bad guys. Here's like an argument, and this is the line they're crossing. I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of feel on that. They kind of just keep it ambiguous-ish and all the time. Like, this guy's good, but they're bad. But these ones are bad, but they're good all the time. But I don't know. I still see overall it's okay. But I will say, too, like, when the main character isn't She-Ra, she looks like a female. And then when she turns into She-Ra, she looks like a dude. But, I mean, other than that, I mean, I don't know. That's all I pretty much wanted to touch on it. I mean, we don't need to talk about that for too long. It's just a little.
Yeah, we don't.
Little snippet on it.
Mediocre.
Flip, have you watched any of it?
SJWs.
Yeah, Flip said he watched it with his daughter.
Oh. How many of you guys grew up in the 80s, like when She-Ra first came out?
I watched reruns and stuff on TV, so I got to know She-Ra a couple of times via the reruns and He-Man. So
I
even
watched a little.
some of the action figures growing up.
Yeah, I watched a little He-Man when I was younger, but I didn't actually watch the She-Ra with Crunchy. I just let her watch it, and I look over my shoulder to see what it's like every now and again.
I
It
gotcha.
doesn't seem too bad. It's not something that catches my attention, but it's, like you said, if I had to babysit her, if it's on in the other room, it's not horrible.
No.
So,
Yeah.
however, just because it's made for kids doesn't mean the art has to be so horrible.
Oh, sure.
Anyone who's a fan of anime or a fan of comics and they know art. I mean, now I could say my PFP is a better She-Ra than She-Ra, but
it's with art and cartoons, it's like they don't even try anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't seem atrocious, but it does seem lazy. I'll say it doesn't seem special, but it seems average.
It looks easy.
Yeah,
for like animation standpoint.
But it's not a sore on the eyes like the Resistance. So I mean, if I were to pick, I'd rather watch this than the Resistance probably.
Oh yeah.
So,
this has some conflict
yeah.
at least.
Yeah. So I want to change it up a little bit because we do have a guest on. So Nicholas, is there any topics you wanted to cover at all, or anything you wanted to finally talk about?
Not anything in particular. I was just gonna kind of go with the flow of whatever topics you guys got brought up and kind of put my 2 cents in it. As far as the She-Ra stuff goes, I mean, I grew up watching He-Man as a kid, and when She-Ra came out and was introduced with the He-Man movie that came out in theaters, after that, the series declined and started going downhill. Same thing with Transformers. After they released the movie, killed off Optimus, the series went downhill. Same with G.I. Joe. After the movie came out, and basically they had a new leader other than Cobra Commander, the series took a hit and went downhill. So I don't know. Me personally, I didn't have any interest in watching this new She-Ra just because when I was a kid, when she came out, it kind of ruined the original series for me, when I was a kid. So
okay, well, that's a good topic we can talk about then. So for everybody, is there any show or movie that has been remade or readapted or has a new spin on it that you guys like, that it had something established before and they did a different take and it was good?
Lord of the Rings.
Okay, a good example.
Yeah, from the 70s cartoon, absolutely.
That was in the 70s? I thought that was like in the 80s or 90s.
No, the animated cartoon. Well, actually, it might have been The Hobbit that came out. That was the animated cartoon in the
Personally,
70s.
I like all the versions of Lord of the Rings, cartoon and live action. They are
Yeah. The Lord of the Rings movies were epic. I mean, there's this cinematic, just epicness of the whole entire trilogy of those 3 movies, which I didn't really know anything about. I actually had friends of mine tell me about Fellowship of the Ring after it had been out in the theater for a little while. We actually downloaded a bootleg DVD copy of it off the internet, and I watched it, and I was hooked after that. The next 2 movies, I mean, I saw day one as soon as they came out. So The Hobbit was good. I wasn't as into it as much as Lord of the Rings trilogy, but they were decent. I liked them.
I gotcha. Yeah, there's a lot less substance in The Hobbit, I would say. A little more style over substance, but the style wasn't even as good as it could have been. But
another problem is it was too many characters, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't even know any of their names.
Yeah, I mean, you really couldn't with that many dwarfs. I mean, you couldn't really character build any of them. They tried with a couple of them, and the other ones were kind of in the background. But yeah, I couldn't tell you. I really had to think hard on trying to remember any of their names.
There's the one dude who tried to get hanky panky, and
Billy.
Yeah, I don't know. Even Princess is stumped. Oh no.
I know
She's
their
read the
names.
books.
I know
You
their
read the
names.
books too.
I
Yeah,
used to.
You should know.
I can name them. Billy, Diwali,
Nilly Willy Banana for Fana for Philly. That's what it sounds like.
I could name them all to save my life right now. For sure.
Yeah. Well, so other than Lord of the Rings, though, is there like any different take on anything that would be considered good? Angus, I'm looking. Angus. I doubt that you know any.
Watership Down, Plague Dogs,
For
Melody.
me, no. It's usually the other way around when you make me think of it. Like, I grew up with the Thundercats when I was a kid, like on Toonami.
Love
They play the old show, and I never got a chance to actually sit down and watch the was it Thundercats Roar or Go? Like the one, it's like the prequel
the
to
new
Lionel. No, not the Steven Universe one that's coming out, but there was one for like a season, and I guess they canceled. It was too violent, or they just didn't get a following. But the art was really
had a following. It just had pretty much was shafted by the people who were doing the time slots. It had a following. I should know. I tried to stay up at night watching it.
But no, really, it's usually like a series gets an add-on and this goes downhill, like fucking Clone Wars to Rebels. It's like super drop off a cliff of quality.
True.
I can't really think of anything. Everything's just I love the Powerpuff Girls. Like my mom used to make fun of me when I was a kid that it was for girls because it's girl characters, and I'm like,
no, boys watch that too.
If you watch that show, like it's not marketed to girls at all. Like it has like some pretty colors, I guess, for girls, but like that's a boy show. It's girls kicking ass. Like it's like masculine energy, if you will.
The violence was
not. Yeah, I haven't seen the new one.
Don't see the new one.
I know it's awful. I'll just stick to my box set of Powerpuff Girls from the '90s.
You do not want to see the twerky Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, I hear that's kind of Teen Titans Go centric.
Real quick, before we continue, people that have watched Powerpuff Girls, who is your favorite villain?
Oh, let's see. My favorite villain, I would have to say Mojo Jojo.
I didn't actually watch the show that often. I mean, I kind of attempted to when I was younger a little bit, but I was just, I think I was really more into the Pokemon Power Rangers area of everything.
I could see you really being a fan of the hillbilly, like pink fuzzy guy. I can't remember his name.
Pink fuzzy.
I don't know who you're talking about, so I don't know.
But my favorite villain is in between him and the Boogie Monster.
Oh my god!
The Boogie Monster is I wish there was more episodes of the Boogie Monster. He was cool. He was a disco pimp.
All right. You think they're going to make a live action version one of these days?
Please no. Please no.
No.
Not in today's climate. They're going to fucking turn it full on SJW if you made it right now.
No, I mean, I'm not saying do you want one. I'm saying do you think they would make one? I mean, they made a Titans. They made a Titans show. What's stopping them from making a Powerpuff Girls one? I mean,
us fans. We already killed one cartoon.
I don't know. Flip, you're a little quiet over there. You're a little older than the rest of us. Would you say that there's anything that that's been either rebooted or remade or adapted differently or continued that is good now compared to before? You might be shopping, so you might not hear us right now. Yeah, Nick, are you like over 30 or?
Oh yeah. I'm 39. My birthday is actually the day right after Jeremy's from Geeks and Gamers. His is March 8th, 1979, and mine's March 9th, 1979.
Okay, nice. Yeah, that seems to be around the age group of guests that I get. It's like the rest of us are like in our 20s. And then we
Right.
get guests that are like 40. It's like, yeah.
Man,
okay.
I wish I could go back to my 20s. I can tell you that.
Well, I like getting the more experienced or been around longer point of view of things anyway, especially with now, because we're considered, millennials, and we can recognize our generation not being the best right now. And we like to be able to compare a little or see, how other people look at it in a way.
Yeah.
I
Hey,
mean,
recognizing it is the first step of fixing it.
yeah, well, we're trying. I mean, that's why I even brought up the She-Ra thing, because it seems like a lot of people are easy to jump down and claim that something's SJW or being messed with when it really isn't. It's just people that are praising it, that are claiming that it is. Like they're making a claim that it's this and that and all these things. And
I think it's because the people who are nerds and millennials have been pretty much, oh, look at this, and then they take it away. They've started to grow very wary.
Yeah.
And that's what's causing a problem.
I mean, like another example is like Avatar. Did you guys ever watch The Last Airbender?
I watched a little bit of it, but I didn't really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a long watch.
I tried to get into it when I worked at the movie store. We had like a whole bunch of box sets that the hobos would steal and sell to us. I watched like 3 episodes, and I'm just like, eh.
Yeah, it's hard to get into, but I mean, once it gets a flow, it flows.
It's actually not that bad. I did end up taking my kids to the theater to see the movie also.
The movie's
that's torture. That's torture. I'm calling the cops. I'm just kidding.
Torture for me.
Yes.
I hate to say it, I did fall asleep in the theater watching that, but to be fair, I was partying really late the night before. So.
But all they do in that movie is go, this is happening and that was happening, and isn't this sad? And okay, and we're here now, and it's just like, oh, what? Okay, sure. But yeah, like the show, they had the Last Airbender, and then they made the sequel season, The Legend of Korra, and it literally starts off with her just going like, "I'm the new one, you gotta deal with it," and she already knows like most of the powers, and it's like really arrogant and overpowered, and she always wins by stupid methods, and they just change the rules.
Like She-Ra.
Everything that they made powerful in the one before is just nothing now, and there's just nothing that they add to it really. And like I couldn't really watch it all the way. I was just so bored, and they're like, "Oh, isn't this great?" And I'm like, I mean, I guess there's things that you could maybe take that are good concepts, but my God, just no. But
oh, dude, Legend of Korra. I never, I was never into Airbender. I knew about Legend of Korra and how like people were like, oh, it's a lot more mature and this and that. And my male feminist roommate from medic training, seen his Facebook. He's just shipping everything real hard and like, oh, it's so great for women and this and that. And it's like, oh God, I'll stay away.
Yeah, Nicholas, have you? So lately, in the last 10 years, there's less than 10 years, there seems to have been a trend where people believe that women have never been strong before. All of a sudden, like they act as if this is a new invention of strong women.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous concept.
All you have to do is look at video games. There's Samus Aran. There's Lynn. There's Ninian. There's
Lara Croft.
So many. Even my name, Princess Aruka. She's from Radiant Historia, and oh my God, she's badass. And the best part is, she manages to keep her femininity.
All right, we'll get back to that in a second, Aruka. Let's have Nicholas talk for a second.
So, I mean, taken away from video games and anime, which I think that the majority of society doesn't really watch or follow, but just going on mainstream movie blockbusters. I mean, the first one that comes to mind to me is Sigourney Weaver in Aliens. I mean, she pretty much was in the first movie the lone survivor, and then the second one, she was pretty much the leader, when all the leaders basically got taken out. So, and then another one from back in the day, that I liked personally was Red Sonja. I don't know if any of you guys ever saw that with Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
She was not a great movie. Not even comparable to Conan from back in the 80s, but she was a strong female character, you know.
Terminator.
Yep, Terminator 2. I mean,
Everybody says
Linda
Kill Bill.
Yeah, Linda Hamilton in Terminator 2. I mean, she was a complete badass in that movie. So the thing is, most people, I think, especially on our side, are not against having strong female characters at all. It's just we don't want to feel like they're being forced down our throat and write them good, you know.
Yeah.
Write good characters. Oh, I don't care if it's female, black, you know, whatever. I don't really care about that. Just make good, interesting characters.
They have to be written in a way that we care about them.
Exactly. You know, so yeah, I think that's where the disconnect comes from, and I think if they can fix that, then you know, things will definitely be a lot better off. But try to just jam diversity down our throat just for the fact of saying, hey, look at us, we're being diverse. We got a black person in here, and we got a woman in here, and we got some gay people in here. Hey, look at us, we're you know, doing things and being, you know.
But then on top of the forced diversity, they're also forcing the fact they're making white males look like idiots.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. And that's, I actually watched a video on that on YouTube, and I didn't even really realize it until I saw this video, and I was like, wow, that makes complete sense. But look at all the white guys in The Last Jedi. Every single one of them are either idiots or end up doing something stupid. It's just, you know, I don't know.
Well, and I was going to ask you too. So, like back in the day, or like growing up, was race and gender as, you know, as much as an obvious thing as it is now, as far as being pointed out in at least entertainment? Because I'm only in my 20s, and growing up, I mean, that was never really a conversation. Was, oh, you don't like this because of their skin color or gender? It was just, no, their characters, this and that, and we can have a conversation. And now it's like, anytime you say you don't like something, like I've never been more aware about race and gender now, because they always bring it up. Like they always bring it up. We're not even talking about it, and then they'll say, hey, they're black and you talked about them, so you're bad. And I don't understand how they get that how they get that at all. How they can compare that to anything.
Yeah.
We even say we want quality characters, and they go, okay, make them black, now they're quality. It's like, that's not how that works. You need to make them likable first, and then we'll say that they're good and a good character. And then you want to do the color, that's your problem. You know, it's.
Yeah, I never heard anything. You never heard people like that back in the early, mid, late 80s.
Like was Blade the coolest black character? Or was he a cool character?
He was a cool character. I mean, nobody, I can't remember one single time like, oh man, it's a black guy. Like, we're not, you know, we're not watching this. Like, I mean, I grew up in, I was born in South Dakota and then moved around up north some, Missouri, Michigan, and Chicago. And when I moved from Chicago, I moved to Alabama. And when I moved down here, yeah, I didn't know anything about racism until I moved down here. But it was non-existent to me growing up, you know. So in movies and that sort of stuff, like none of that stuff, like you never heard people talking about, you know, oh, there's too many white people in this, or we don't like this because it's a black person or a woman in here. It was never talked about. You never heard anything. People just liked going and seeing good entertainment, and none of that stuff was a factor in it.
Yeah, I feel like people nowadays come to a movie with a checkbook and they go, okay, are there 3 blacks? Or are there 5 women? Do they do these acts? Is that dude gay? No, he's not gay. Oh, that's not good.
It definitely feels that way.
And it's like that's how they judge everything now. And we just, yeah.
Well, like a good example is the Captain Marvel movie coming out. I mean, I heard about it and I was like, I'm definitely gonna go see it. You know, it's a Marvel movie and it could be a really good story and a good character. But as soon as Brie Larson started running off with her mouth and doing all that stuff, I completely started losing interest in even caring about seeing it. You know, if they would have just kept their mouths shut and just done the movie, done a good job, uh, uh, wrote the characters well, you know, filmed the movie well, and I mean, I would have been fine, you know. But it seems like the people in Hollywood, you know, try to kind of stoke the fire a little bit, you know, to either get attention or to push some sort of agenda that they agree with or are a part of, and I don't really want that personally in my entertainment. I just want to go be entertained, and I would like to escape, you
Yeah,
know,
I
all
mean,
that stuff
for all we
from the
know,
world, you know.
for all we know, it's actually a good movie, but the way they're promoting it and talking about it is just giving it a perception that's not there.
Yeah,
Nicholas,
exactly.
Nicholas,
Yeah.
we don't need to know what Captain Marvel means to you, Mr. White Dude.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
because our opinions don't
Yeah.
count, and that's not racist, right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. My opinion does not matter at all because I am a white male and I am privileged. I'm a privileged white male. I can tell you right now, there's
Hey,
black people and
what?
women above me in my full-time actual real job and people that I work alongside that have gotten promoted ahead of me. You know, I don't know where this white privilege. If there's white privilege, I've never seen any of it.
Yeah,
So
where's our check?
yeah, I've never gotten anything.
All right, I got my white check in the mail.
Yeah, I don't get a monthly white check mail. You know, there you go, white mail. Free.
Hey, Flip, that could be a skit.
No. That's a good one.
It's just ridiculous, you know. When I hear this white privilege stuff, it's just like really, like, you know, I mean, even my dad's in the same industry as I'm in, and my brother, you know, in his work and other friends of mine, like I don't, none of them are getting you know, stuff handed to them, you know, for promotions or money or whatever, you know, and we live in the South, so you would think, you know, this is the most racist part of the country down here. So, yeah, it's non-existent. So, as far as I can see,
Surprisingly, us Caucasians are actually a global minority. We are actually the minority.
Yes.
Literally, we are a global minority.
Literally. Yeah, we're always talked about to be a majority. I guess in history we seem to take the forefront of a lot of stuff, but
Well, that's because we're smart, we're pretty, and also because we used to be slaves, and our slaves used, and the people used our beauty and white skin to pretty much blah, 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 history, blah, blah, blah. We finally broke free, blah, blah, blah.
You know, it's funny, they never talk about like the fact that white men made a country and a set of laws and a progressive document to eventually free slaves, to give women
absolutely.
votes. You know, that these people, I like what Crowder says. He's like, oh, you know, keep, you know, you don't have the right to dictate our bodies, but it's like white men in the Supreme Court enacted what became essentially abortion laws with Roe v. Wade. So you're fine if men interact, if they give you something you want.
And
it's
the
funny.
word slave
Yeah.
comes from the title Slav, which means Slavic culture, which means Slavic people. Pretty much, we Caucasians were the first slaves.
huh.
You're welcome.
I mean,
The more you learn.
I mean,
Well,
It makes sense with the Romans.
We'll start
I
using
think
it.
for slaves, I pretty much mean we were probably the most used.
I think every
There
race
were
has
black
been
and
part of
tan and
slavery
other
at some point in
slaves
time.
there's still the African slave trade going on. There's still the Arab trade going on. And and then there's the
Stony.
Stoney's like, Black Angus reviews, your white check hasn't arrived yet? I could have sworn I mailed it to you last week.
No, I think he sent it to White Angus reviews.
Yes. I mean, yes, yeah, you gotta switch. Which one are you wearing today? No. Let's change the topic up a little bit from that stuff. Let's make it more fun.
It's one thing. It's great being mixed because I can get a white privilege check and my reparations check.
I mean, you should be loaded, man. You get the best of both sides. You don't get the worst of each end. You get the best of each end. That's good. But yeah, let's change it up to something a little more fun, I suppose. Talking about this stuff.
12 Years a Slave isn't fun?
Not today.
That's the funniest movie ever.
Maybe on the next we need more diversity in here for that. Apparently. Yeah, so favorite movies, anybody?
Well, Star Wars, hands down for me. The original trilogy.
Any particular one out of those?
I was always a big Return of the Jedi fan. It was my number one growing up, but as I've gotten older, Empire has actually kind of become my favorite. So I would say Empire, Jedi, then Star Wars. But after that, Aliens, Predator, Lord of the Rings. I mean, they pretty much round out my top 5.
Nice. I like those.
You didn't say Encino Man.
Oh, yeah. I actually liked Encino Man when it came out. I watched it a crap ton. I was probably, I don't know, 9, 10, 11 years old when that came out.
Yeah. No, it was funny. It was funny. I like all the Star Wars. Do you like any of the prequels?
I like the fan edits of the prequels. Where they cut a bunch of it out. I like the prequels. I'm not a prequel hater. I'm more, I would say, a prequel. What's the word I'm looking for?
Tolerator?
Apologist.
Yeah. Pretty much a tolerator, I would say.
I say they're fast forwardable. Like, I like them, but I mean, I can't really sit through every scene on rewatching. It's like I got to fast forward to parts I care about.
Yeah.
Some scenes are better than others. Revenge of the Sith had some good ones.
When Padme and Anakin are alone, or when I got to fast forward in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, Revenge of the Sith was by far the best one out of all of them. And the Clone Wars animated series made the prequels even better than what they were. Which George Lucas.
Which I can't wait to see what they do with them.
Yeah, George Lucas had his hand in all that, and he fixed a lot of the issues with the prequels in the Clone Wars series. And I don't know, with the way things are with Star Wars right now, I'd love to see George Lucas come back. He definitely couldn't do any worse.
Well, I mean, he can't, but I am real excited about what Filoni and Favreau are going to do with Mandalorian. Yeah,
I'm definitely curious about that. I'm also curious to see how much Cray KK has her hand, in the mix of all that. If they pretty much have free reign, if they pretty much have free reign, I'm definitely gonna watch it and check it out. I'm interested. The last episode 9, I'm probably gonna pay for another movie ticket, because I really don't want to give my money to that movie.
Oh yeah,
but I definitely also want to see it.
Mm-hmm. Kind of in that same boat. I just want to see where it could end, but I don't care about it, so I'll be watching with less dread, I guess, because they already got rid of anybody I care about. So it's just like, well, let's just see how this ends. I mean, 3PO and R2 should have 3PO should have gone out on that ship, instead of Holdo or something. I would be like, oh, dude.
Yeah.
That would have made everyone cry.
Yeah, we'd care. We'd go, oh no, 3PO.
Well, I like Ivan Ortega's take on it in his Last Jedi re-edit in having Akbar.
Yeah.
Be the one. I mean, God, that just makes so much more sense, and it just has that connection for everybody that that grew up with the movies and knows the Star Wars movies. Like, man, Akbar, this is how he goes out.
He goes out like a pimp. He goes down with the ship. That's how he would go down.
Everyone thinks Akbar should have done it. Yeah.
No, but it's like, I hate to they really think, well, if they do something that you don't expect, then that means that it's good. And it's like, you could do things that we expect, but it depends what the payoff is. It depends, like, it's the destination that matters there. I mean, you can go down the expected path, but what are you going to see when you get there is what matters. And every time we do, we open up a box and there's nothing there, or they kill it. It's like, oh no, every time we go in there, it's just,
You can't make a setup and not pay it off. Like, they made a lot of setups, but instead of paying them off, they just were like, oh, never mind, that setup didn't exist.
Yeah, and I mean, would it be so bad if they did, make Luke do anything cool, or make anyone do anything cool, or would that be so bad? I mean, we've all been waiting for it for so long. I mean, honestly, this should have been in a way, this whole series, this whole trilogy should have been a fan service trilogy in a way, and then do whatever new shit they want. I mean, this was their last chance to have all of them together, and one of them is dead now, which was the whole point, I think. To get this stuff filmed before these people can't do it anymore.
I mean, my whole thing is, who at Disney thought it was a good idea to on the Force Awakens to write that movie and not have all the original people on screen at the same time in that movie?
Yeah,
I mean, it's a no. I mean, you are handed gold, and you basically shit on it. You lost every chance that you had to make something that could have been great, and it turned out to be a flop. I mean, I liked the Force Awakens for the most part. I totally did not like that Luke was only in the end, and I totally did not like that they were not all on screen at the same time. But when The Last Jedi came out, that just made me hate The Force Awakens even more. I mean, the whole new trilogy, it's just like, I'm done with it. I could have wrote a better movie.
Yeah,
it's funny. I was just looking at this article from 20 hours ago from the Express UK, and it's talking about we might be getting we think we know when the trailer's going to come out in Super Bowl 53 release in February, and then another one at Star Wars Celebration. And then on the bottom it says it contributes the story to Mike Zero. And I'm like, oh god, we just got garbage tier media from the future.
Yeah, the Mike Zero future casts news videos that he posts. I don't know. I mean, if you go back and watch some of his stuff, what he was doing with or predicting on The Last Jedi, man, he was spot on. So I don't know where he's getting his information from, and I don't know if any of it's true or how reliable any of it is, but I mean, it's a good possibility that what he's reporting on is accurate.
I just don't get how he can how Disney hasn't taken him out because he doesn't source his shit. But so it's like he's like they just got to treat him like the source. Maybe it'll stop the leaks or something. I don't know. It's weird because Disney they when Force Awakens was being filmed, they had it got released that they had anti-drone drones to take out drones from spying on the sets.
I heard about that.
Anti-drone drones.
Yeah.
It sounds like a kid's cartoon or something. Anti-drone drones, killing out drones. Anti-drone drones. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, the episode 9 teaser, EBS actually did a video on that today. Apparently it's rumored that they're going to start working on the first teaser in 2 weeks or something.
Yeah.
Wake me up when the real story comes out.
Dude, I can't wait till Jumanji next year makes all the Star Wars money. They're like, man, we didn't expect $2 billion for Jumanji 3, and then you see Star Wars has $800 million.
What's funny is that we'll all go and watch Jumanji, and then we'll all go pay to watch Jumanji to watch episode 9.
Yeah.
Double the money.
Yeah, Jumanji's going to do great. Hey, you were reading that article by Express.uk. It's funny you were reading that. Are they saying exactly, you broke up a little bit, are they saying exactly when the trailer is supposed to come out? Because I heard 2 weeks, and then I also heard at the Super Bowl.
They're going to start, I guess, releasing stuff to different trailer companies to try to make, pick who makes the best one and release it during the Super Bowl 53 in February, and then probably a second one in April of during Celebration.
Okay, so what I'm hearing from EVS is that 2 weeks from now there's supposed to be one. That's what he thinks, or he could just be joking. But on top of that, I'm wondering, once that trailer drops, are we going to see a lot of these channels out here, these YouTube channels, start changing over to theory channels again?
Oh, I'm sure.
That's a good question. Honestly,
I'm sure.
Has anybody even put out any theories about Episode 9 other than Mike Zero? Does anybody actually put out any theories for it? I don't think anybody cares.
Yeah, that's what I agree with that. I don't think anyone cares, but I'm just interested to see all these channels change over and start doing theories again, shiltastically,
I think it'll last until Episode 9, and then the market's going to die, even with the Mandalorian, barring some smart decision to bring back Boba Fett or Obi-Wan movie or something. I think a lot of YouTubers they set themselves up for failure for being devoted to Star Wars. It's going to crash and burn. That's what's great about the Chaos Council and the Fandom Menace Phase 2 is we're covering a lot of different facets that aren't just stuck on Star Wars, even though that's what has united us. We're a lot more diverse with our coverage.
Yep.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. There's not so much shilling here, obviously. But, what with rumors as soon as The Last Jedi came out, it killed the rumor mill. No one gave a shit. And I still don't think we give a shit.
No.
No, and what's funny too is that people, I've heard people say that we all need to get over it, get over the movie, the AT-AT guy. I was you guys just need to get over it. And it's well, okay, the thing is, we pretty much have, but it is, Star Wars in general is a topic that anybody could talk about at any time with anyone, basically. And, if anything, articles constantly get put out about it still, and people just respond and talk about those. So, it's not we're just going, oh, that movie's still just the worst. It's, if anything, we're trying to come up with better solutions. There's people like Ivan who try to make it better. There's people who want to rewrite stuff and make their own ideas. And what was that?
Doomcock.
Yeah, Doomcock, exactly. He's trying to do stuff too. He's working on a prequel rewrite thing too, which is pretty awesome.
I wonder what Doomcock's been involved with in the past, the actual guy behind Doomcock. He's been involved in some mainstream stuff, and I think Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers and Jeff from World Class knows, but nobody else does. It's that tightly guarded Area 51 secret, I guess.
Yep.
Watch it be Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
And hey, Nicholas Glenn, you were wondering where Mike Zero came up with his what was his source, but I look back because I've been collecting the Google alerts for Star Wars movies ever since early 2015, and I still get them daily. And I think that he was using his sources like Google alerts or something, but then you would see other channels come up with these rumors and speculation, and then they would cite the other channels, or they would cite other articles by Express UK or IO9. They were just basically sourcing each other and making shit up.
Interesting. I could definitely see that being the case.
That's what it sounds like. They could go, Ray's going to make Kylo pancakes and whatnot, and people would take that and go, he said that they're going to make Kylo pancakes, and then that's their story.
Oh, dude, it reminds me of since this is kind of time topical. Have y'all seen the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the weird claymation?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It reminds me of when they're like, Herbie doesn't want to make toys, and there's just like gossip all around. You know, they're just all saying the same thing. Herbie doesn't want to make toys. Herbie doesn't want to make toys. Like that motherfucker, he doesn't want to make toys. That's the best part of that movie to me.
I love that
like,
shit.
I want to be a dentist. It's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you guys. I might bring on a couple other random guests in a sec, so just be ready for that. A couple other special guests too from the.
I'm hoping Stoney is actually like Irish and got like a.
I know.
Oh, top of the morning to you.
He actually posts stuff on his channel. He has a channel.
Oh, okay.
So you can click it right now, and you can check him out and see later. I mean, don't click it now because then we'll see it through the feedback or we'll hear it. But yeah, I think everybody in the chat right now has something other than Jez, but he'll get that eventually. He's getting there. So is Aruka's getting there too. How's your story going along, Princess? You there? No. Okay. All right.
So I got something I wanted to bring up that you guys were talking about Powerpuff Girls earlier, which I never got into, but so my brother just turned 30 this past October, or is it 30? Yeah, I think it was 30. But he grew up in elementary school when I was in high school watching Dragon Ball Z, and and we used to make fun of him for watching Dragon Ball Z all the time about how gay that show was, and so I started. Well, so one day I was like, all right, so what is this? You watch the show all the time. And so he's telling me about it, and I'm watching it. And then my other friends that would also make fun of him with me, I called him up and was like, dude, like, I've watched this Dragon Ball Z show, and it's actually pretty badass. And so then I got my other friends to start watching it. And man, after that, every single time new episodes came out. All through the Frieza saga, after that, the Boo saga, the Android saga, all that. We watched every single one of them day one when they came out. So it's just funny hearing you guys talk about Powerpuff Girls and stuff like that, and making the comments of, like, don't make fun of me. That story came to mind on how I ended up becoming a Dragon Ball Z fan.
I did it literally the same way. One of my friends would always watch Dragon Ball, and like I'd come over and I'm like, dude, let's go do something, let's play basketball or something. He's like, no, let's watch some Dragon Ball. I'm like, ugh. And then he was just, he's a lazy ass, so we don't really do that much. So I was like, okay, fine, we're watching Dragon Ball, I guess. And then one of the episodes was like the first one where Goku's fighting Chase and Burter, and then it goes, from the Frieza arc from there. And I was like, okay, this is pretty good. Okay, this is actually all right. I'm not hating it. I didn't know what the hell was going on when they're like trying to scare him or something. I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. And then, oh, he's so powerful. Okay, and then he fights Frieza and them, and he like almost kills the little green kid. And then he, is beating the crap out of the other kid. And I'm like, okay, this is pretty brutal. And then Vegeta's doing his shit. I was like, okay, this is freaking awesome. And I was game ever since. And that was when I was a little older. So
yeah, Vegeta was by far what drew me into the series. Like, he was like the badass that wasn't really the badass,
Yeah,
sort of like Johnny from Cobra Kai. He's not like the greatest, but just his character. I just really liked his character.
Who's the weird like white one? It's like an alien. It's like a tail or something.
White one with a tail.
Yeah, there's like some like alien thing with like a white thing with like a tail. Let me Google this.
A Saiyan? Like,
no, not a Saiyan. It's
a
not
monkey
like
tail. Wait, what are you talking about?
I'm gonna find it and I'll be like, oh, it's this one.
You might be mixing up shows or something. I don't know what
I'm
you're
not
talking
mixing
about.
up shows. I remember I might be mistaking the color, but I always remembered it like seeing it on
You're talking about
commercials.
Piccolo was green with antennas, but he didn't have a tail.
No, not Piccolo. I know who Piccolo is.
The Saiyans were basically humans, but with monkey tails. And there was like a little talking cat, but it wasn't really an alien. I don't know. Aruka, you know what he's talking about?
I never really paid attention to Dragon Ball.
Okay.
I know it because most of my friends on Discord and stuff still pretty much are going, hey, it's still good. Me, I'm
Frieza.
not really into it.
Frieza had a tail.
Sit down and listen.
Yeah, Frieza also had a tail. Yeah, he was like white and purple. Is that who you're talking about, Angus?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought that
Frieza.
was a hot design.
Yeah, and Frieza had a.
Well, which form? He had like 5.
I don't know, dude.
He had the alien. He had the alien from Alien form, kind of the xenomorph form.
Yeah.
Also, just funny. The creator over there liked a lot of American movies, so he influenced a lot of stuff. And that character is actually based off of Darth Vader, kind of,
Oh, wow.
and other Japanese things. That's actually supposed to represent some type of Japanese person, people over there, that bureaucrats or something. I don't know. And then Darth Vader. So it's kind of funny.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yep. Geekdom 101 is a good Dragon Ball channel that does a lot of info, and Masako X is the guy who does he does the voice of Goku and Gohan in the abridged series, and he has his own channel also with some cool stories and whatnot, cool info things.
Hey guys, I'm gonna step away from the mic for one quick second. I'll be right back.
All right, that's cool.
By the way, I just got home, and it shouldn't be loud anymore.
Okay, yeah, it quieted down anyway. Or if you were muted the whole time, then we didn't hear anything. So
Great.
so you're good. It's been pretty quiet.
Cool.
That's good. So how was everybody's Thanksgiving?
It was good.
Delicious.
All right. Okay, no, just kidding. Did you guys cook, or did somebody else cook? Did you have
I went
turkey?
to a free buffet at the casino.
Oh, nice.
Hey, wait a minute, Princess Iruka. Did you say you went to a casino?
Yeah, I went to a free buffet at a casino.
What casino? Like, I mean, so let me guess. Vegas, Atlantic City, or where?
I don't live in Vegas. I don't live in Atlantic City. I live in Chico, and Paradise has dealt with the Butte campfire, and the casino, Calusa Casino, was hosting a free buffet Thanksgiving for people who were pretty much evacuated.
Oh, I see.
And my parents were one of those people, so they were like, okay, we're going to take you guys.
Oh, that's
nice.
awesome.
Yeah, the food wasn't that good, but hey, it's free.
Yeah, right.
Free food's good food.
That's good. Yeah, I had leftover pizza for mine, so you know, that's get pizza like once a week. So yeah.
Well, Princess Iruka, I deal blackjack and roulette. That's why I asked. Do you go to the casino for things other than eating?
I have not gambled yet, even though I am 25.
I haven't gambled either.
I
Did
have
I hear
not
black-
gambled yet.
Did I hear blackjack and roulette?
Dude, what's that?
Did I hear blackjack and roulette?
Yes, sir. I'm a dealer.
Oh, where at?
We do private parties.
Oh, you guys do private parties in the southeast?
Yes, sir. Atlanta, Georgia.
Nice.
Although one time I was asked to do a sheik's yacht, and I was married at the time, and they wanted us to sign a non-compete and non-disclosure because we were going to be there for 24 hours, and they were going to be getting nude. So my ex-wife was at the time very against me watching an orgy.
Wow.
Naturally.
What a bitch.
We'd have made bank. We would have made bank too. It would have been awesome.
Dang.
Yeah, I can totally see why they wanted NDAs signed for something like that. If they're all going to be doing a bunch of orgy shows, if they're like top businessmen or whatever.
Yeah, when we said no, I mean it was basically because I had asked, well, why do we have to sign that? And my boss looked at me and goes, well, you can imagine what sort of debauchery might occur. And I was like, oh, okay. So it was really alluded to me, but we've done Atlanta Falcons houses too. I met Jamal. You guys remember Jamal Anderson?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, did one for him. Those guys were in the back doing something with their noses. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, probably some cocaine.
It was a good party, though. We got tipped well.
Hell yeah. All right, we got a surprise guest. We got Hallmark Channel Jeremy. What's up, dude?
Hello, Jeremy.
Oh, that was hell. I'm like, what the fuck?
Shell back.
Hello, is this thing on? Hello?
Oh no, it's all robot. It's all robot.
Yeah.
Whoop, Mr. Roboto.
Sounds like Peter Gabriel.
Okay. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
A little better.
Yeah.
There's a button on there that you could just turn to the
Oh.
icon if you press the screen if you wanted.
Where?
When you tap the screen, if you're using your phone, then a little picture of a camera should come up, and you just press it, and then the camera will go off.
Okay. Okay.
And then now
there
it's
you
just
go.
an icon.
Yeah, you guys didn't want to look at my fuzzy mug anyway.
It just uses less data, so it's so the audio won't be so jacked up.
Yep. It has your phone do less things.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, see, this is my first time. You know, I'm a virgin, so be gentle.
Yeah, we're good.
Fine. They were gentle with me. They'll probably be gentle with you.
Yep. With everybody, we've had to help a little, so it's all good. Yeah, so this is Hallmark Channel Jeremy. The first Jeremy guest on the channel, even before proper Jeremy, which he'll be next week. But yeah, this is cool. So
Yeah, I saw cotton candy hair Jeremy in the chat.
Gamers Jeremy is coming on.
what was that?
The actual Geeks and Gamers Jeremy.
No, but the proper Jeremy account that started this whole trend of clone.
The real Jeremy is probably too busy.
Yeah, most likely. I don't think he'd even pop in. But
Yeah, I was in Pensacola for like a week and was trying to meet up with them down in Pensacola at Flounders, and I was down there for a whole week and he didn't have any time.
right.
I just got an idea for another Jeremy account. I could do like Flash and do reverse Jeremy.
Which there's like 130 different Jeremy accounts now or something.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the
And
weirdest
growing.
fandom.
Yeah.
There's Jeremy NPCs running around.
Well,
And by NPCs, I mean the accounts, not that they're actual NPCs.
Right. Of course. So Hallmark Channel Jeremy, how's your Thanksgiving?
It was all right. I went up to Whidbey and spent time with my oldest son. Oh shit!
That's
Hello,
good.
Stony Nick.
Hey, it's your boy Stony.
Hey guys, yeah, this is the first time I'm just bringing guests on randomly, kind of.
I was hoping he's Irish.
We've got Stony McInternet Douche, our one of our favorite ones.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 people here. We're the 7 dwarves.
Congratulations, you have passed basic math.
The
Yeah.
Knights of Ren.
It'll be interesting hearing your burns in voice instead of just in chat. So it shall be fun. He's the acclaimed king roaster of our chats, Stony.
I'd hardly say that. I'm just an asshole.
Okay, whatever
That
works.
Just the community douche.
Roast king on the forehead or asshole. Okay. All right. So yeah, what does anybody want to talk about? This is literally just kind of just riffing right now.
Are traps gay?
Yeah.
Oh, are
Has
they?
anyone seen the trailer for Replicas? It's a Keanu Reeves movie. Comes out in January.
I thought you were gonna say
haven't seen it.
I don't think so.
How's it
Is
look?
he still alive? Dude's getting up there in the years.
I thought you were gonna ask if we saw the trailer for Traps, because like, oh, you gotta send me a link to that.
No, it does look good though.
Maybe.
I guess I'm alone, except for me and who was that who said yes?
Nobody. They took it back.
Jeez, they don't want to.
Don't worry, it's just the voices in your head.
Yeah.
They said yes, and I was
Might
like, oh, I didn't mean to say that. I thought they were talking about something else.
So I guess we'll ask them the general questions that we ask everybody that comes on here. So let's start with Stoney and then Hallmark Jeremy. So what do you think of the modern Star Wars?
Absolute shit.
All right. Any more?
If I start listing off the reasons, we're going to be here all week. So,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, please don't. I have work on Monday.
Good point. What about you, Hallmark?
Absolute shit with corn chunks.
Ugh. One of the worst kinds. Dang.
I didn't have any corn. No one caught that.
I was okay with The Force Awakens up until the point when Rey starts freaking pulling out Jedi mind tricks out of her ass and beats an experienced person of freaking Kylo first time she ever holds a damn sword in her hand.
Yeah,
Well,
very ridiculous.
I actually have the solution to that problem. Rey is a dark Jedi. As we've covered in the past, the dark side is the quick path to power. So, by process of elimination, she's evil.
Well, what I would like to see in episode 9 is Kylo pulls Rey over to the dark side. They're both bad. Freaking Leia's filmed scenes for episode 9. She ends up doing what they got in Rebels, where they're able to open up the portal to the other side, bring Luke back through. Luke comes back and kills Rey and Kylo. The end.
I'm not sure that'd be the best way to do it, but I think I would find that entertaining.
Kylo and Luke just beat up Rey.
Well, at least Raylo gets,
You'd be getting them. Yeah, you'd be getting those fans happy.
Yeah, and then you
Here's
kill
your
him.
Raylo, and then you kill him. Yeah, and Luke's the one that does it.
Or we could just have Force Yoda lightning them to death. Just,
Yeah.
it's a whole bunch of time.
True. Yeah, but they don't want to. Apparently.
You know, what'd be really kick-ass is if they made this a whole alternate universe, and then I don't know how they would do that, but then Luke is actually still alive and all that shit.
Let's go with JK, guys. We just, released this on a false pretense and wanted to get all your money real quick, and then, just make sure that, you guys like this, so you didn't. So we're just going to keep your money and then, just continue doing stupid shit with a different universe. We'll
Call me
it again.
Taser Face.
Oh, God. When Guardians of the Galaxy is way more entertaining than Star Wars.
Yeah, you could do like a prequel to Taserface. Oh, that could be a Star Wars story.
how Guardians, how Star Wars became Guardians or something. How Star Wars characters left the Star Wars universe to become Guardians.
No, just have a Taserface movie, and like Boba Fett crawls out of the Sarlacc pit, and then Taserface like fucking murks him. You're like, oh.
I feel like that'd be co-starring Will Ferrell or something.
Oh, that'd be so ridiculous.
I really, 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 really want episode 9 to start out with Luke waking up and going, "Oh my God, it was a fucking nightmare," and just start from scratch.
Or it has to be Star Wars curse words. So what in the holy nerf herders? Holy shit! And like just something.
You're a mean.
Yeah.
Rowan Johnson.
On Rebels, they said Carabast.
You're a
That's right.
What were you singing over there, Ruka?
I'm thinking you're mean one Mr. Grinch for Kathleen Kennedy and Rowan Johnson.
Ah.
Replacing Mr. Grinch with their names.
Nice.
We could have J.J. Abrams on that list too.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't doubt that.
He's really under the gun to make this work, guys.
That's got. Imagine being him right now. Seriously, like he made the Force Awakens, which was iffy at best. Like people, it's literally split for people like it and don't like it a little, but most people are okay with it. And then Ryan just completely cuts everyone in half to where you either hate it or completely love it or something. And then now he's got to please everyone, both sides. Like how?
How do you do that?
How can you please the people that loved it and hated The Last Jedi?
I don't see how it's possible. He's got to please the fans. He's got to please his corporate monster, Bob Iger and the board of directors or whatever the hell they are. That's a lot to put on a man,
Yeah.
Like, what on earth? We discussed this recently, but I know what we all want, like what would be really cool. But what do you think JJ's got in mind that would make it? I mean, what could he possibly do to bring the split together?
Something about Vader's castle would be one thing from Rogue One. Tying that with the Knights of Ren, that could work.
What do you think? What do you think, Hallmark?
Oh, I don't know. My brain starts to hurt when I think about the new Star Wars movies.
We feel you on that. We don't want to have more medical expenses. What about you, Stoney?
Well, my mind's been on a joke I just had. Flip, whenever you say under the gun, I get this really creepy image of James Gunn in a Catholic priest outfit. I don't know why. But...
Under the gun. Oh, no. It's going to be a skit or something.
Yeah, it might be. Me and Angus have both been in the Catholic Church. Anybody else?
No.
Yeah.
Under the gun. That's a good one, Stoney.
Oh, God.
Nicholas, what about you what do you think JJ could do?
I think JJ, if he brings Luke back, makes him a badass and not a whiny bitch, stays away from the Raylo thing, and basically just makes an interesting story that's well written, and film it in a way to where it makes us care about the characters that are there. I mean, this is the last one in this new trilogy, and I could give two shits what happens to Rey or Finn or Poe or BB-8. I mean, I don't care about any of it. So, I mean, if he'd do that, it's definitely a hard task for him for sure. I don't know if it can be done or if it will be done, but I mean, there's definitely a possibility for him to be able to make it good, but I don't know. I guess only time will tell.
Good if they made it good.
It'd be good if they made it good. That would be good. It'd be good if they tried to make it good.
I mean, he has a minimum of 3 generations to please.
Yeah, I'm on a live stream with all these people.
I know him.
I doubt it. It's all like pop culture. Like the guy's channel is the Rookie Critic.
What's up? Your dogs eat medicine.
Medicine?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Xanax. I'm gonna hop off here.
I need to come hang out with you.
That was funny. That was funny. So, I was gonna ask Stoney, what do you do on your channel?
Hey guys, I just had a company show up here, and my dogs are going nuts, so I'm about to have to jump off this live stream. But I just wanted to say I appreciate you bringing me on, Rookie, and definitely look forward to doing some more with you guys in the future.
All right, no problem.
Oh, yeah.
I'll invite you in on random ones sometimes. That's anybody that comes on here pretty much might invite randomly on on a live stream, just random ones. So welcome back, dude.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Good meeting all you guys.
You too.
See ya.
All right. Later.
Have a good.
See you.
All right, so Stoney, I looked. It looks like you actually have content on your channel. I didn't look at any videos yet, but what do you do?
I do Let's Plays. I just play video games, talk about shit, usually world politics.
I gotcha. I know
It's not very good. You shouldn't watch it.
Okay. I was gonna say your audio. We can hear you, but I don't know if it's the Wi-Fi, but it sounds like you're farting as you're talking.
No, that's just my shitty headset.
It's like while you're talking, it's like making a poof noise. But
Yeah, it's got the. It doesn't have an external mic. Its mic is built into it, so occasionally it fucks up real bad, and there's nothing I can do about it.
no, it's
It's
all
just
good.
the douchiness flowing.
Yep.
Or that.
I gotcha. That's all good. But here, so Hallmark Channel, Jeremy, you said that you wanted to make a channel at some point, right?
Yeah, I just don't know if I want to start putting out videos with the freaking Hallmark Channel Jeremy as the username or not, you know.
I think you should pick a different name for your channel, but still go by Hallmark Channel Jeremy.
Yeah, just make a second channel with the same email.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. I mean that. Like I said, all I got is this phone, and
Android, right?
I don't know. It seems like a whole lot of damn work, and I don't know.
Suggestions. I've had a great name on the back burner for a while, but I'd be willing to surrender it to you. Nick Beard, the Internet Pirate.
Nick and Beard, the Internet Pirate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Is every name you come up with
No.
have internet as the third word?
Well,
Black
No,
Angus, the Internet douche.
Only the good ones.
It's actually not a bad way to do it. Have internet be the third word after something, and have douche after that too.
Like you can do one like you need internet condoms or something.
or just Internet Douche, the Internet Douche.
Yep.
So, Hallmark Channel, Jeremy, you could go by Shellback.
Yeah. Well, that's what it was, and I like I changed it on a whim during one of the G&G live streams. You know, he's like, oh, you know, because he was talking about watching Christmas movies on the Hallmark Channel, and he's like, you know, somebody make one. So I didn't know all the different, you know, email and all that crap, you know, especially on this phone. So I just went and changed my name, and it happened to be that third name change within the 90 days. So like now I'm stuck with it until that time period is up. But I was Shellback TJC before that, and that's what I'm going to go back to.
Yeah, I would go back to that. And what you have is you have this time period that you can make content and edit it and set it aside and make projects. Because Rookie sent you to me, right? About trying to find out about how to do that on a phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've got all the time in the world then, man. And it would be a lot more work if you suddenly, you know, had to do it all at once. You know, you've got some time. You should do it, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, like one of my top subjects, I guess, right now is homeless veterans, because I'm currently living in a transitional housing facility for veterans.
That's awesome that they exist. Yeah.
So I mean, you know, it's one of those I guess you call it, you know, close to home subjects for me. You know, anything with veterans really, but
yeah, you know, you could even bleed it into like a clone thing, you know, because a lot of the Clone Wars, they were all, you know, the injured clones and whatnot, and the veterans of the Clone Wars, etc. You could do a lot of stuff like that. Maybe make your channel like that. You know what I'm saying? For the Republic or something.
Like hook people with the pop culture, and then, you know, still give them the topics that you want to talk about with homeless veterans and whatnot.
Right.
Kind of have a little mix.
right. I mean, well, part of it too is, you know, I'd be like probably asking if veterans happen to watch the video, like what their, you know, send me a message on what their hobbies are, you know, stuff connected to pop culture, and, you know, hopefully they'll say something, you know, about Star Wars, you know, because that's one of my main deals. You know, I've been there since the beginning, you know, so.
Well, yeah, bring them in with like, I mean, like you could do Veterans of the Republic or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, like the elders of pop culture or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's
What?
that would be great to see you do something. If you have any questions, you always can just text or any of us would help you.
Yeah.
Love to see it. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
Okay. Well, with all the robot talk, I didn't know if we still had you. But yeah, man. Yeah. Just give us a call or something because we'd love to see some content come up from you.
Right on.
Yep. Well, I think we'll be closing out the stream in a little bit. Today was really just kind of more of a chill day, I guess, because it's after a holiday and everybody's still probably recovering from it. I imagine Stoney is extremely stoned or something. It's also the weekend.
Yeah, happy Friday of Color, everyone.
Yep, Friday of Color.
I just real quick, I just want to say to Angus, you demented grunt for putting out that damn Flash video with the, no. Do you know how many levels of wrong you are for that?
I just wanted to show you the hero behind the mask.
No, I keep the mask on. Keep it on.
Well, I mean, it says like totally not clickbait news.
Oh God, I saw that one. Yeah, now I remember. Oh,
I mean,
cross-dressing.
The picture on the front has him in his butt plug suit. What did you expect?
Dude,
it was disturbing.
Even the contestants of RuPaul's Drag Race were going, "Oh hell no!"
They were like, "Girl, nuh-uh."
Oh, I'm glad you. I'm glad I subverted your expectations.
Oh God.
I'm gonna have to go get a drink.
You're just a man, baby. Hey, I just came across because I saw on this one Twitter page I follow, Orwell and Good. I'm like, oh, this can't be real. Yeah, it's real. The headline for National Public Radio Incorporated.org: Toxic masculinity is the bad guy, and Ralph breaks the internet. All right, I'm really gonna pay money for that shit.
Wait, that was real? I thought that was an article. What the hell?
Yeah, it's a real article. Let me link it for everyone to read the garbage to quality.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
sweet Jeebus.
No.
What? You mean Ralph is toxic masculinity?
I don't know. I think he's gonna fight. He's probably gonna cuck himself for the little girl character.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You never seen Wreck-It Ralph?
The first one?
First one's
That was
amazing.
great.
I saw the first one.
Huh.
So like there's a little girl and he helps her. Gosh, I can't remember. I saw it. It was good. You cry at the end and all that shit. But there's a little girl in it. You know what I'm saying? And he helps her.
And so it's toxic because he helps somebody?
She was a video game glitch, and he ends up helping her, and it turned out that instead of like the redheaded stepchild, she was actually the princess.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. Check it out at the library or something.
It's good.
And so what was the issue, though, you said?
I put the link in the chat. The title of the article is "Toxic Masculinity is the Bad Guy and Ralph Breaks the Internet."
Oh. Huh.
Guess we'll have to watch the next one. I just don't know if I want to now.
If there's toxic masculinity in it, I'm definitely buying a ticket.
Hell yeah.
Well, I mean, I am a white male, so, Satan.
Yeah, it's apparently made
But
for
I'm a
us.
straight white male. It's important.
It's very important. You gotta support it. Yeah, well,
I'm
I'm
excited for that Mel Gibson movie coming out about police brutality. I hope it's very brutal.
Is a Mel Gibson movie coming out? Oh no.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a brutal buddy cop movie. There's already articles.
Possibly go wrong.
Yep, nothing can go wrong. No. All right. Well, I think I'm about to start closing it out, though. Got to go to work in about an hour. Anything you guys want to close out on? Anything you guys want to talk about real quick?
I'm about to drop a video in the next 2 days, and I was going to run this by you guys. Do you think it's still too early to make fun of Saudi Arabians?
Why would it be too early?
No.
It's never too... Well, I mean...
Yeah, it's never too early.
It's never too early. Okay. Okay.
No.
My mother, you son of a bitch.
Word.
The best joke I've seen is it was about the Ariana Grande like attack or whatever, and it was like a Tuscan Raider, and it said "screams and Muslim noises."
In the words of the immortal Jeff Dunham, silence! I kill you.
Nice.
Jeff Dunham. Yeah.
Nice. All right. I think that's a good way to go out.
Anyway.
Any last quips from Stoney?
Well, I have a few, but they'd probably get your channel nuked. So gonna keep them to myself. Thanks.
What if you self bleep them?
Well, I can't do that.
Okay.
You know who I am. You know I have no filter.
True. You can tell us off the air. All right, so I'm just going to close it out now, guys. I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving, and we'll be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific with the Anomaly Inc. And I thank Flip for help setting that up because he had contact with them, and that should be a fun one. He does some awesome Star Wars videos, so we'll see you then.